Welcome to the UIS Coaches Show. I'm Michael Leotta. The UIS men's basketball team is ready to get its 2024-2025 season underway this weekend at track. We are thrilled to have head coach Matt Brock joining us here in studio. Matt, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me, Mike.
Yeah, it'll probably be a lot of exciting times, obviously, getting the season started this week. How are you feeling?
Feeling great. We definitely need to play someone different. You know, our preseason's pretty long, and so our guys have been working extremely hard and battling each other, but you get to a point where it's time to play somebody in a different color jersey, and we're definitely at that point.
Yeah, no doubt. Let's talk a little bit about your bench first and foremost. We got a familiar face back on staff this year and a new face. Tell us a little bit about the coaching staff this year for the Stars.
Yeah, Adam Eberhard's back in his second year as an assistant coach, and excited to have him back. Of course, he had a tremendous playing career, and he's a very bright basketball mind and has a really good rapport with the guys, and has been working extremely hard with those guys, and they like him and respect him. And then we have Earl Lewis, who's joined us, played on a Final Four team at Wisconsin Whitewater. Got a lot of energy. He's young and he's biting at the bit. So he's brought a lot to the table too. So our guys I've got two assistant coaches that are really there to help them be the best that they can be. And they're in the gym with them getting extra work in constantly. So very pleased to have those guys with us this year.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about your roster coming back. Very lucky you have a solid core returners coming back this year. A lot of guys that have been in your program 2-3 years, guys that were part of last year's 18-win team, that was second best in program history, the year before 19, which was best in program history. How good is it for a coach, and how lucky are you to have that kind of core, not just on the court, but off the court as well?
Well, you know, the having a group that's been here when we were young and we were inexperienced, and then when we kind of broke through and have kind of turned this thing in the right direction is great, because they've lived both sides of it. So they know what it took to get to where we've been the last couple of years, and they know it's going to take an additional step to go from good to great. But you know, we've got 5 seniors, Jack Weber, Isaiah Esker, have been here. They're in their 5th year, and those 2 guys inside are tremendous. Jack's a 2-time All-League guy. Isaiah's been probably had the best learning curve and improvement curve of any player I've coached. He's tremendous. And then we've got Evan Altman, who's been consistent. He's a senior, been here for 4 years. He's a wing that can shoot the ball, can really defend. He's a very intelligent defender, and plays with a lot of energy. Max Kuhnert, who's now in his 3rd year with us, transferred to us after his freshman year. An all-league guy, led the league in three-point percentage and makes last year, was 2nd in the country, I believe, in three-point percentage. So tremendous shooter. So you've got that core group of guys, like you said, that have been here, that can show the younger guys what it takes to be a high-level GLVC basketball team, and not only just in practice, but like you said, off the court, and recovery and strength and conditioning and nutrition and all the things that go into it.
Yeah, and of course college basketball these days, it's always fun to see who do we get in the transfer portal. You know, always additions in the roster. It's one thing to get really good players in the portal at 12, 13 points a game. But for you, talking a little bit earlier, you're really excited about what you brought in because they were really good fits for what this roster needed. Can you talk a little bit about some of the new additions we got?
Yeah, so Nate Shockey is in his grad year, using his COVID year here, getting his MBA. He played at Quincy, so he's familiar with the league. Was a very productive player for them. He brings some scoring. He brings some he can guard. He can handle the ball. He can pass it. So he brings a lot to the table there. Just another veteran in the locker room. Colin Schuler is a transfer from Maryville. He's a junior, really athletic and long, 6'7", 6'8", active on the boards, can block a shot, can make plays on defense. And then you've got Braden McLaughlin, who is a transfer from Indianapolis, who's got 4 years. He's a freshman. He redshirted there. We recruited him out of high school. Big point guard, kind of can run the show, facilitate. And then Ty Banks, our local guy from Lanphier High School, he came to us by way of Parkland College, who had 2 really strong years the last couple of years, and he's a winner. Very tough, very physical, and just gives us a little bit of edge in the lineup. So excited about those 4 transfers. One I failed to mention is Khalil Ross came on at the end of last year and started for us. We're expecting a big year from him, a sophomore returner. Very excited about the returners that we have and the new guys.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's talk a little bit about the season. It gets started this Saturday. Roosevelt comes to town. D. Brown, of course, a lot of people in Illinois are familiar with D. Brown, a standout at Illinois, brought a lot of exciting moments to the fans here that are Illinois basketball fans, but he's bringing a lot of excitement to Roosevelt and Chicago. He's now in his 3rd year here. First 2 years have been outstanding for him. Talk about what kind of challenges the Lakers will bring to track on Saturday night.
Well, they like to play extremely fast, so defensive transition is going to be important. You would expect that from D, kind of the way he liked to play in transition as he was a player, and they are used to success. Now they're making the transition to Division II, so that's a process. But they won 25 games last year, and so they're used to winning, and it's going to be a big challenge. We've got a veteran group that we decided, hey, we're going to try to test them in the non-conference. Our league is tough as nails, so you got to be battle tested by the time you get to GLVC play. So, they're going to be a great opponent for a home opener. Not your typical 20-25 point favorite. Sometimes as some teams that schedule that, but we're excited to host them, and I'm excited that we don't have to play the head coaches in a one-on-one game, because he was the National Player of the Year in Division I, and I was not the National Player of the Year in Division II.
Oh yeah, I think you're not giving yourself enough credit there. But yeah, you mentioned you do have to schedule tough, because GLVC plays 2.5 weeks away or so, so it does make a big difference. And then a quick turnaround Sunday afternoon, we'll have Wisconsin Parkside in here, a team that we're very familiar with, a region team, a team that we played last year down in Owensboro, lost their early season game to them 75-66, but a team I know that you're very familiar with. Tell us a little bit about what kind of challenge Parkside will bring in Sunday afternoon.
Parkside used to be a GLEC team, so got a lot of history between UIS and Wisconsin Parkside. Coach Riegel does an outstanding job. He's got a terrific program. They're typically NCAA team, every other year, and so they've got a good group back, similar to us, some guys that have some experience. I think they have maybe 4 starters back from that team, so they're gonna be tough, and they're gonna be ready to play. They prepare as well as anybody prepares on our schedule. So, on a quick turnaround situation, you just got to be adaptable, and you got to be ready to make adjustments. And so it'll be good for our guys to get that early season tournament type feel where you're playing a back-to-back, and hopefully preparing us for the GLVC tournament and hopefully the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, just one final thing, I guess, this weekend obviously you want to go 2-0, but from a coaching standpoint, it's early November, the season obviously is a long grind. What do you want to get out of this weekend more so than just a 2-0 record?
Well, we are not as caught up in wins and losses. We're very focused on becoming the best team we can be. And so if I've had teams in the past, and sometimes you say, hey, we have a goal of winning this many games. Okay, well, that might be lower than your actual potential. So I don't want to limit anybody, but I think all teams, if they're trying to become the best they can be, that's successful. So we're going to try to continue to be better defensively. We were the top of the league offensively last year, but on defense we were more towards the bottom of the league. So that's been a big emphasis in this offseason. We want to guard, we want to protect the paint, we want to make it tough on our opponents to score. So that's something we're looking for. Taking care of the basketball is obviously something that helps you become efficient offensively. But it's so early in these games. Yes, they're important regional games, but if you look at the big picture, it's more about who you're becoming than what you are right now. And so there's a lot of opportunity in the season. So we're not going to get caught up on the results. We're focused on getting better, and we kind of have a saying in our locker room is whether we win by 10 or we lose by 5 tomorrow, we're getting better. And so that's the approach we've had, and that's the approach we're going to have Saturday and Sunday.
Perfect. Well, we look forward to seeing the team finally in action. Again, the Stars will be in action on Saturday night, 8 p.m. versus Roosevelt, and on Sunday against Wisconsin Parkside at 4 p.m. Matt, Brock, thanks for joining us. We'll see you guys again next week on the UIS Coaches Show.
Thanks, Mike.